morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. This is Pastor Ed, coming to you today with the morning after. I like to call it living life the morning after. You know, we talk about stuff on Sundays. We go through our sermons or go through our what the Lord has given us on Sundays. But then sometimes there's just a little extra. There's a little extra that the Lord wants to give us from Sunday. And what happens when you go home? What happens when you get to the house? What happens on Monday? What happens on Tuesday? What happens when it comes to applying that word? And so today it's interesting. I made a statement yesterday that said everything, when God tells you to do something, everything that God has for you is on the other side of hard. Everything in life that you want is on the other side of hard. Nothing simply comes easy. Anything you want, anything that's going to be meaningful to you, and even meaningful and impactful to other people is going to come on the other side of hard. The question is, what's so hard, Pastor? God told me to do it. See, here's the thing. God tells you to do it, but then there's a process of going through it too. Sometimes we just try to praise our way through. And in reality, he's going to give you the instruction, but there's process through it. Part of that process is to prepare you to be able to handle what he's called you to do. And why is this hard? You know, we went through a couple things yesterday. We went through kind of this process yesterday. We took the children of Israel when they were going to the promised land. But here's some reasons why everything you want is on the other side of hard. You hear God tell you to do something, and we get excited about it. We have these dreams of grandeur. Oh, we're going to do this, and we're going to impact this, and we're going to make this money, and we about to buy this, and we about to impact and change this many lives. And you get excited about it like Caleb did in Numbers chapter 13, I believe it's verse 30. He got excited about it. And hey, let's go immediately. Now, the key into doing what God tells you to do is to do it immediately. Do it within the window that the time frame and the window God gave you to. Don't overthink it. Don't search out 10 of your best friends to make sure you heard from God. Don't put it on Facebook to see if everybody agree with what God said. No, you have to do what the Lord told you to do immediately. And it's hard because a lot of times when God really instructs you to do something that's going to really make an impact, it's going to really change you and going to really increase you and bless you, it's going to pull you out of your comfort zone. It's going to pull you out of that place where you have settled into. Remember I said yesterday, our comfort zone is simply the place that we've gotten accustomed to. It's the place I at least know what's going to happen. Even if my comfort zone is bad for me. You know, you have some people who are in abusive relationships, and they'd rather be in an abusive relationship than be by themselves. Why? Because that is their comfort zone. And so what I am saying is you have to get out of your comfort zone, and God's going to push you out of your comfort zone when he calls you to really make that impact on the kingdom. And so you can be excited we get excited about what we think is going to happen. But when we start to settle into what I got to do to get there, what has to happen, that's when the hard comes in. Because the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look outward. We're going to look outward and see what the challenge is. And now we're going to say, man, that's a big challenge. Man, they might say no. Man, they might laugh at me. Man, I'm not in the right circle. I don't have the right education. I don't know the right people. You start to look outward and say, man, and to look at what you actually have to do and some of the barriers you have to cross. And good God Almighty, it can be challenging, just like what happened with the children of Israel. They looked outward. They started saying, man, look at the land is great. God, it's everything you told us it is. But look at the giants in that land. And so we look out. That becomes hard because now we have to overcome our own fears about what we see. We have to overcome our own fears about the limitations that we've placed on ourselves. We got to overcome. It's on the other side of hard. Doing what God told you to do is not going to be easy. Doing what God told you to do is going to push you, and it's going to extend you and expand you and get you out of that place that you have gotten comfortable with. You see, the next thing that was said yesterday was, look, not only we start to look out and look at the challenges, sometimes we look in and look at those challenges. Sometimes we look inward and say, you know what? I think I'm a grasshopper. I see myself, and the people that see me, they look at me and they look at me as small. They look at me as insignificant. I start to look at me as insignificant. God was telling them, I'm with you. Go to the promised land. Take it. Go. You don't have to fight to do it. They're not just going to fall dead. You got to fight to do it, but I'm with you and all will be well with you. And the children of Israel's minds just went haywire. The children of Israel's minds just was like, Look, God, you brought us out. If you look at the beginning of Numbers 14, God brought us out here to die. God brought us out here for my kids to die. He brought me out here for us to die. We rather go back to slavery than to have to fight. We'd rather go back to the very thing we were dissatisfied with. We'd rather go back. We complained about being slaves and wanted to get free. And then when we got free and God says, here's your next step, we'd rather go back. That's a comfort zone, guys. I'd rather go back to average. I'd rather go back to slavery. I'd rather go back. I'd rather go back to being average. I'd rather go back to being miserable where I don't have to do something than fighting through my own fears to get everything God has for me. You know, I challenge us today. I challenge us to move forward. I challenge us to overcome our fears. I challenge us to stop looking and seeing the hurdles and look and see where God has already worked it out. If God told you to do it, he's already worked it out. You just have to walk through the process. And part of the process is getting over what you see outwardly and getting over what you see inwardly. I'm going to say that again. Part of the hard is getting over and fighting through what I see outwardly. And the hard also is fighting through what I see inwardly. And so my challenge for us today, and I really just wanted to bring this out, the morning after, God may have put some stuff in your heart yesterday that you got excited about. But the morning after says, when I start to look at the landscape of what he told me to do, I'm going to have to fight through it. I'm going to have to fight through. I'm going to have to fight through my own misconceptions. I'm going to have to fight through my own mind. I'm going to have to fight through my own, what I think. You know, my mind, if it doesn't have a complete story, starts to make up stuff and it starts to fill in the blanks. And when it fills in the blanks, it fills in the blanks from a standpoint of it's always going to be negative. 99% of the time when my mind fills in the blanks of a story that I don't know, is going to be negative how it fills it in, period. And so if I know that, it's already what my mind is really trying to do is take me back to a place of comfort, take me back to a place where I think I'm protected, take me back to this place. And I just want y'all to know, everything you want, everything you desire, all the dreams that God has put in your heart is on the other side of hard. It's on the other side of being uncomfortable. It's on the other side of believing when you don't want to believe. It's on the other side of trusting when all the things in front of you tell you, nah, this ain't what you want to do. It's on the other side of hard. It's on the other side of hard. We got to stop. Well, if it ain't easy, if it just don't open up, God will make a way. God will make things smooth. But the hard part is getting over your own self. The hard part is getting over your own mind. The hard part is getting over your own self-imposed limitations. The hard part is fighting you. God will make the way smooth. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not to my own understanding is 3:5. Proverbs 3:6 says, acknowledge him in all thy ways and he shall direct thy path. Direct thy path actually means make thy way smooth when you look it up. So he will make the way smooth, but you have to get over the hard that's right here. You got to get over the hard in your mind, how you see them, how you see yourself, how you see the process, the negative that your mind tries to tell you when it has an incomplete story. That's the hard we have to deal with. So that's one of the hards we have to deal with. So I just want to encourage you guys today on this Monday morning after, go back, listen to yesterday's service. I will put the link down here in the box for you to go back and watch yesterday's service, because I believe that it will challenge you. I believe it will push you, and I believe it will help you get to the very next level and the next step to get to God. So that's really all I got this morning. I thank y'all so much for joining me. I wanted to make sure you guys knew that our services are going to be online only, and it's going to be in a very limited community for a while. If you would like to be part of our services, if you'd like to continue to hear, quote unquote, some of what we have, I need you to text the word loop, L-O-O-P, and it's not going to pop up on the screen, but text the word loop, L-O-O-P, to 414-600-0910. If you want to stay in the loop, continue to get the content from this church that's helping you, text the word loop, L-O-O-P, to 414-600-0910, and I'll make sure that you get all the links that you need to be able to continue to follow Revive as we kind of contract what we do just a little bit for now, as we retool and get ready to do some different things. So thank you guys so much for being here with me this morning. If you leave a comment below, I'll go right after this. I'll go down and talk to you. If you got questions, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer those. Have a phenomenal day, Revive Nation.